Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Engaged once again. We are. Are we? We are. Are we? We are. Engaged once again here on Operation Status Quo. It is a Tuesday afternoon. I haven't sang that in a while on a Tuesday. I like to always do that on a Tuesday because Tuesday's a great day to sing a song. Every day is a great day to sing a song, ladies and gentlemen. You know how much I enjoy singing. I don't know if you know enjoy it. I don't know if you know it or not, actually, but I do enjoy it, and I tend to break into little bits of melody at times. So if that happens today at all, feel free to enjoy it or feel free to ignore it, and whatever works for you. Hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo. I am Pete Palma. I am your user-friendly host, broadcasting live from the comfy confines of my very own home. This is, again, Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life, and then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. And that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen, is creating our own flow of quo. No matter what happens on Operation Status Quo on a daily basis, the ultimate message to remember is that we all have the power to be the best bees. We all have the power to be the best. Yeah, we all have the power to be the best bees that we can be. So go be a good bee and go be it. That's for sure. All right. So today we're going to have a little bit of fun, as we like to do here from time to time. Actually, we like to have fun all the time, but today is no different, obviously. Today is the 14th of November in the good year 2023, and today's program is indeed entitled Rest in Peace. Oh, rest in peace. Yes, I actually came across some fun information. It's so funny, the stuff that they put out there. But it's actually a list of phrases that are recommended not to say at a funeral, right? Can you imagine what you need to tell somebody not to say at a funeral? For goodness sake, I mean, it's a funeral. Somebody passes away, and you have to, actually rein people in of not offending people on the day that someone is passed. I mean, if you are ever, before I even start this, if you're have any kind of quandary whatsoever as to what you should or shouldn't say in that situation at a funeral, you're better off just not saying anything at all. Just shake the person's hand, nod your head a little bit, I'm sorry, and that's it, and just be done. Don't have to get into a long tirade about, what Uncle Joe did and, you're glad he's gone, right? So that's usually not pretty good. Before I get to this list, though, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to mention very quickly, today is the 14th of November, as I said, and as I'm saying that, I realize today marks 2 years to the day that I drove down here to start my new life in Florida. So 2 years. How about a round of applause for 2 years in Florida? Florida. 2 years in Florida. Hey-oh. And see, I sang. I told you I was going to sing. What was it? Oh, and by the way, too, I didn't mention, back on the 10th of November, marked 3 years. No, is it 3? Yeah, 3 years of doing my show on YouTube. So how about that? 3 years. 3 years. 3 years. 3 years on YouTube. Hey-oh. But for those of you that are newer, you won't find the old stuff because I did take it down because I just kept revamping some of my material and such. I should bring back some of those old shows, the Pete Palma program and Pete's Place. There was some good stuff in there too. Maybe I'll make some clips one day and call it Operation Status Quo Classic. Classic cuts. We'll go back and show you what I was doing during when the pandemic was still really kind of going on and everything. Oh boy. I don't want to open up that can of worms again. All right, let's get into this and have some fun here today, ladies and gentlemen. So for anyone who has suffered a loss recently, I wouldn't give you my condolences because it's never fun to lose someone. But, unfortunately, this is just part of life. And, the beautiful thing about it, and this is probably something you shouldn't say at a funeral either, is it's like, no one ever really dies. You don't want to tell people that, I guess, when they're first grieving the loss of someone that they care about. But in general, that is the truth, right? We are spiritual energy embodied in this physical form. So, as difficult as it is to have someone that we care about be gone from our physical presence, it doesn't mean they're gone at all. Actually, they're in a better spot than we are, right? When they're on the other side. It's almost like in Star Wars. when Vader is fighting Obi-Wan, and he goes, "If you strike me down, I'll only become more powerful than you can possibly imagine." And and Darth still killed him anyway, right? And then he did become more powerful. And the truth is, Darth Vader, being a Jedi as well, even though he's on the dark side, he should recognize that, right? He should have known that killing Ben was going to cause him more harm than good, right? So I don't know. That could be a whole nother topic that we get into. But let's get into this today. I'm sorry, I'm a little rambly today. Let's get into this. 12 phrases is what I have here to avoid saying at a funeral, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see. I did read through this the other day, but I don't remember. Oh, here we go. I mean, this is why this stuff is so funny. And again, this comes from MSN. I find a lot of these kind of lists on the MSN news cycle, and I like to use this stuff because this is like what mainstream culture is saying, and I always get a kick out of what mainstream culture is saying because the fact that they even have to say these type of things is really it was really perplexing to me. But here we go. The number one on the list that you don't want to say to a person at a funeral is "they had it coming." I mean, come on, who would say they had it coming? Can you imagine? Oh yeah, that's your dad there, huh? Yeah, well, that SOB had it coming. I mean, he was just. I mean, I saw him kick a dog one time, and he used to yell at the kids in the neighborhood. I couldn't wait for him to drop dead. So I'm sorry for your loss, but he really had it coming. It says losing a loved one is a deeply personal and emotional experience, and making callous remarks like this only adds to the pain. Each person copes with grief in their own way, and it is important to provide support and empathy rather than passing judgments or implying that the deceased deserved their fate. Kindness and understanding go a long way during these difficult times. It's just so funny to even say. Who would even think? Seriously, tell me, people. Tell me if you know anybody that would say something like that, or if you would say something like that. Even if it's a person that I didn't like, I would never even think of saying something like that. Because we all have it coming, in a way. We're all going to go. And on top of it, none of us are, innocent little, bystanders here in this life. No matter what you want to judge other people on, we all have, our crosses to bear, as it were. Or I don't know if I should say it that way, or if I should say more, we all have our, problems. That's all. That we're not perfect either. Okay. I know how you feel. You don't want to tell people I know how you feel, although you may know how they feel because you may have lost somebody too. But I guess, in this instance, they're kind of looking at it more from the perspective of, you don't know how they feel because each person feels differently. You know what I mean? So it's very rude. Don't tell somebody I know how you feel. While it may seem like a comforting phrase, assuming you understand someone's grief can come across as dismissive. Each person's relationship with the deceased is unique, and their experience of loss is equally individual. Instead, offer a listening ear and acknowledge you may not fully comprehend the depth of their emotion. Can you imagine? Listen, I think I understand how you're feeling, but I don't understand the depth of your emotion, of your loss. Can you explain to me how miserable and sad you are at the loss of your loved one? I know how you feel. Don't say I know how you feel, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know how I feel. You don't know me. You don't know me, and you don't know how I feel. All right? So just whatever. Sign the book that you were here, and I don't even want to see you at the lunch. You're not getting the free lunch because you don't know how I feel. All right. The next one on the list is, at least they're in a better place now, right? I think this one would piss people off more. Well, of course it says, well, meant to provide solace. This phrase can inadvertently invalidate the pain and sorrow that the mourners are feeling. It is crucial to respect others' beliefs and understand that everyone processes grief differently. Instead, focus on expressing condolences and offer support, allowing the bereaved to find their own comfort in their personal beliefs. I can't even believe you have to even explain these things. Like just the language in here. Focus on expressing condolences and offering support. I mean, yes. I mean, isn't this like normal human behavior? If someone passes away or someone's in some sort of pain, whether it's from a passing of a loved one or anything that's going on in their life, that you would try to offer support and listen to what they have to say. But at least they're in a better place. And I think why you can't say this more so is because the truth is they are in a better place. And it's only going to piss off the person that's left behind that they're still stuck here. And not only are they still stuck here and their person's in a better place, they still have to deal with everything without their person, right? So, I mean, it's really like a pop, 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 a couple shots to the head, All right, next on the list is when you are look at this. Can you imagine? I want you to set the stage. You're walking up, you see the casket, you go past, and if you do that type of style, the viewing or whatever, and you go over to the person, and I see you're really sad here. I know you just lost someone very close to you, but when are you planning to move on? It's like, no, and this is like, the reason I'm saying this is because they say these are things not to say at a funeral. What kind of person in their right mind would say, when are you planning to move on at the funeral? I mean, maybe it's 5 months, 6 months down the line, a year down the line, you're still like in the throes of turmoil. Not that you would say, when are you going to move on? Because that's still not the best way to say it, but maybe you would try to encourage someone to find something in their life to replace that feeling of sadness with, or at least to, transform the loss into a gain of some sort of, taking the energy that they put into the grief into expressing something new, and then the energy on the other side would help them express that something new. You know what I'm trying to say? All right, so when are you planning to move on? I know exactly how you should handle this. There you go. You don't want to say that either. I know exactly how you should handle this. Everyone mourns differently, and no one has the right to dictate how someone should grieve. Unsolicited advice, even if well-intentioned, can be overwhelming and intrusive. Once again, as they keep saying here, allow the bereaved to lead the way and offer support by simply being there for them. That's right. I know exactly. Listen, I had, just say somebody, I don't know, they lost their, I want to pick something. They lost a parent, right? You know what I mean? So my parent, I know exactly how you should handle this, because I lost my parents too. What I did was I checked their pockets for money, and then I dug a hole in the backyard and I buried them. And that was it. It's all over now. I feel great. I know how you should handle this. That's how you should handle this, because I know how you feel. When are you going to get over this? All right. They wouldn't want you to be sad. You shouldn't say that either. They wouldn't want you to be sad. And, this is true. They wouldn't want you to be sad. But again, I'm sure that, as they're saying here, it's dismissive of their genuine feelings and blah, blah, blah. It's the same message over and over again. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, basically, someone passes away, you're not. What are you saying, right? I mean, who would say they wouldn't want you to be sad? You wouldn't say it in that way, I mean, I'm always about kind of saying they're in a better place. Hey, listen, they lived a good life. They're they love you. They're still with you. And they wouldn't want you to put yourself down. They want you to grow and thrive and be better. It's okay. It's one less person. You should be. They don't want you to be. It's true. They wouldn't want you to be sad, because the truth is, now you have one less person in your life that you got to deal with to give you agita. That's like the Italian. They give you agita. You can give you aggravation. It's like one less person that you have to deal with, one less consumer that you have to push out of the way when the shit hits the fan and people are looting the grocery stores, right? It's one less person you have to push out of the way. So, they're doing you a favor. You should be grateful for the time you had. Oh, my goodness. You definitely don't want to say that. While gratitude can be a profound tool in coping with loss, it is crucial to acknowledge that grief encompasses a wide range of emotion. Telling someone to focus on the positive aspects of their loved ones may inadvertently overlook their need to process the sadness and pain. It's important to honor all emotions during the grieving process and provide a safe space for expression. So yes, I guess so. I mean, I guess it can overlook, their need. I mean, everyone needs to process. I mean, something that people die, I guess I'm weird this way, because in my mind, everybody I know is already dead. Like, I've already dealt with it because I know they're going to die, right? Just like myself, I might go before them. I don't know. I mean, whatever happens, like say my mom, maybe something happens and I wind up dying before my mom. But in my mind, my mom, she's already gone. Bye. Hey, bye, Mom. I love you. I did. I love you, Mom. You were the best. Me and my mommy, me and my mommy. But I think about that with all the people. About that. Like even my brother, I love my brother, and one of us is going to go first. But in my mind, I process it already. How would I feel? I don't mean it as crazy as it sounds, but I have thought about hey, listen, people are going to go in my life. How am I going to feel about this? How would I feel if it happened right now? And then I feel it, right? And I know what it would feel like, and then I process it, and I'm good. I've already processed it. So when my mom passes away, I'll be able to oh yeah, I already dealt with that. That's good. I'm fine now. Oh my goodness. But you should be grateful for the time you had, because everybody's in your life for a reason. And even if somebody doesn't die and they're in your life and out of your life, you still should appreciate the time you had, because everybody's in your life for a reason. And, the time you had is a time that was meant to be for the purpose that it served, right? All right. I know someone who experienced a similar loss, and they got over it quickly. Can you imagine? I mean, again, this is at the funeral, right? Like maybe you make a mistake, talking to somebody, it's just your friend, it's a neighbor, I don't know, right? And, maybe you kind of say that, just if you see them in the neighborhood, I don't know. But I mean, again, to say something like that, I mean, are you going to walk up to a person at the funeral and say, oh, listen, I know somebody who had experienced a similar loss. They lost their brother too. And they got over it. I don't even think they gave a shit about their brother. They didn't care at all. They got over it quickly. You'll get there too. So you don't want to say that, ladies and gentlemen. You'll get over it quickly. That's not very nice. What else do we have here? Here's a good one. This is a good one. They brought this upon themselves. I mean, what are we talking about? What did they bring upon themselves? Everybody's going to die. We all brought it upon ourselves. I don't even know why you would say something. Why would you even go to a funeral if you wanted to say something like that, right? You wouldn't even go to the funeral. What's the purpose of going to the funeral for somebody that you obviously don't like if you're going to say a comment that they brought this upon themselves? I mean, that's going for the deceased. Like you must not like the deceased. Otherwise, you wouldn't say something like that. And then on top of it, you're probably so agitated that you can't attack the deceased because the deceased is gone that you want to say something stupid like this to the people that are still alive that cared about this person, right? Assigning blame to the deceased or insinuating that their actions caused their demise is not only insensitive but also disrespectful. Funerals are a time for mourning and honoring the person who has passed away, not for casting judgment. It is important to remember that everyone makes choices in life, and it is not our place to pass harsh judgments in moments of grief. That's what I really don't understand about this list in general, that it's even created. How many social situations are going on where people are being belligerent at a funeral? I mean, I don't even get it. Like, I mean, this is normal etiquette. And I mean, you go, you pay your respects, you grieve, and you get your free lunch. That's what I like about the funerals. Where are we going for lunch? I mean, who cares? This person, they're gone. They're gone. What are we doing today? Let's see. You don't want to say this one either. I know someone who had a much worse funeral. I don't even understand. Why would you even compare one funeral? Oh, I go to funerals all the time. I don't care for this one too much. I don't like the flower arrangements, but comparing one funeral to another, especially in terms of sadness or difficulty, minimizes the importance of the event and the unique path and the unique pain, experienced by those in attendance. Each funeral is a deeply personal and significant event for the family and friends involved. Instead of making comparisons, show empathy and support for those grieving, acknowledging the significance of their loss. So I know someone who had a much worse funeral. Oh, you guys did it up. Your funeral's great. You got the lights. Matter of fact, let me do. I can do this with these lights here. Let's see if I can. Which button is that? Yeah, there we go. Do it with these lights. Bah. Oh, you guys got a great funeral going on. When's that guy going to get out of the casket and start dancing around? All right, let's go back over here. Oh my God. I know a guy who had a much worse funeral. That's so crazy, right? Oh my God. You guys, I gotta tell you, your family's the best. Your family throws the best funerals. I can't get over it. I can't wait till somebody else in your family dies. You guys have the best funerals. Okay, just a few more of this nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. You should be grateful they're no longer suffering, right? I think it's a nice concept, to acknowledge that if a person was suffering, like, my grandfather, before he passed, had a progressive illness for a number of years. It would have been nicer if he would have just kind of passed, boom, instead of having to, deteriorate like that over a number of years. But at the same time, at a funeral, you wouldn't want to say, I wouldn't say you should be grateful they're no longer suffering. I would say something more to the effect of, I'm so sorry for your loss. It's never easy, but thank God they're not in pain anymore, or something like that. Like, I don't think that would be so bad, but to tell somebody you should be grateful. I mean, listen, I know you're sad. You just lost, everybody you love here, but you should be grateful because they're not suffering anymore. Guess what? You're suffering, but they're not suffering. So, all right. Anyway, we got one more. Oh my gosh. So the last one, I was just talking about the lunch, right? You don't want to say this at a funeral, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not dwell on this. There's a party to plan. Suggesting that mourners should move on quickly and shift their focus to other matters can be insensitive and disregarding of the grieving process. Funerals are in a time for reflection, remembrance, and supporting one another. Rushing past these important moments can hinder the healing process for those in mourning. It is crucial to respect the grieving process and offer patience and understanding during difficult time. Quite honestly, after reading this list, I think people shouldn't even have funerals, right? You shouldn't even invite anybody because, you don't want the potential of these kookadoos coming out and saying something stupid like this to you. But I joke even about the lunch. Can you imagine? You're going through and you go up and you're just like, I'm very sorry for your loss. I know. By the way, do you have a menu handy for the luncheon so I can get an idea what I'm going to get when we, so I know what I'm going to order when we get there? Oh, it's a buffet. That's great. No, that's great. Yeah, we should get over this. And how long are you going to dwell on this? I'm kind of hungry. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Some phrases not so nice to use in the funeral situation. I hope you found that helpful here today on Operation Status Quo, because we're just observing different facets of life, and apparently there's a facet out there where people need to be told how to handle themselves at a funeral, which is mind-boggling to me. I mean, just either go, don't go, or if you're going to go, keep your mouth shut. And I'm sorry, and that's it, and you just go. It's to try to get into a whole dialogue about all the shit that they said in that list is crazy, and I can't imagine anybody saying that kind of stuff overall. But I guess obviously there are a lot of socially inept and emotionally immature people who have no regard for others or any awareness of anything outside of themselves. So I'm sure it's a possibility that it's happened. Let me know what's happened to you. What have you experienced at a funeral? Have you experienced any of these things that I've said here before? Let your comments, drop your comments in the comments and let me know what you think about it. All right. Anyway, that's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you had a good time. I know I did, because I love being with you guys each and every day that I am here. So anyway, that's what we got today. If you haven't done so, I kindly ask you, and I implore you almost in a respectful way to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you individually as well as a group. God bless you out there. Have a great day. And until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.